In the quiet hills above the village of Clanara, all seemed at peace. The winds whispered through the grass. The birds sang about nothing in particular, and the sheep ate cud without a thought in the world. But not all was at peace. There was also a young boy named Paddy. He was up on the side of the mountain where he always was. Paddy was a shepherd, and his job was to watch over the sheep all day long. Paddy was bored. Nothing ever happens here. Just sheep and wind and silence. Sure, I could scream and the hills wouldn't even blink. Down the hill and next to the sea was the village, Clanara. There were stone cottages with thatched roofs, and it was organized in a square with a well for water in the center. It was there you could find Old Nell. She was a sharp-eyed woman who saw everything, and everyone would tell you she was the voice of the village. Looking up the hill where Paddy sat, she commented to a neighbour, "That boy is up to something. There's mischief in his elbows, so there is." Old Nell had lived in Clanara for as long as the birds sang, and somehow she was always right. "Oh, he's up to no good." One day, bored again, Paddy stood up. He looked around for something to do. Then an idea struck him, and a smile came on his face. He cupped his hands to his mouth and he shouted down the valley, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf! Wolf! Wolf!" The village heard him. In a panic, they all immediately ran to help him up the hill. They had to protect the sheep. Old Nell was the first to reach the top. Where is it, lad? Where's the beast? Ha! You should see the faces. The villagers stared. Some muttered. Most turned and walked away. Paddy laughed hard at them as they left. "Paddy, you don't shout fire unless there's flames. This isn't a game, child." A few days passed. The sheep continued to chew grass. The birds sang on the trees. The wind blew softly. And Paddy was bored again. "Oh, sheep! Sheep, 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 sheep. How's the grass?" A sheep looked him in the eye and then turned its back on the boy. He let out a bored sigh. He sat back on the grass and looked up at the sky. And then, suddenly, another bright idea came to him. He grinned. Once more, Paddy cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted, "Wolf! Big wolf! Big! Help! Help!" The village stirred again, although a little bit slower this time. They came running. Old Nell followed up behind. But when she got to the boy, the other villagers were already walking back down the hill with annoyed looks in their faces. What is it this time, Paddy?" The boy smiled and looked around at his unhappy audience. "Just kidding. Just keeping you on your toes, like." No one else laughed. The villagers turned without a word. Even Old Nell. "Be careful. The wind remembers, boy. And it has a habit of coming back to bite you when you least expect it." And with that, they left him. Back to the sheep, back to the wind, back to the grass and the birds. Paddy sat down, alone again. It was just a joke. But the hills were quiet, and Old Nell's words hung in the air like a cloud waiting to break. The boy had cried wolf, not once, but twice, and no one was laughing anymore. What Paddy didn't know was that the next time he shouted, he wouldn't be lying. Find the free PDF and quiz in the description and comments below. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe to join us here for more. Until next time.